on. We got it right. Oh, finally, we got it right. Can you hear me? I saw the mic
Yes.
muted.
Yes, I got you.
All right, we got it right here. It's office hours, the human experience. Monday morning, look at the beautiful sky in Nashville, Tennessee. Bucky O'Neill, my main man out there. How was the firewalk?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Not just the firewalk, but the certification and the level of work, the level of depth, the level of opening. A really beautiful community that's coming together here with a lot of ease, a lot of purpose, and a lot of fulfillment. So it's amazing.
I love all those adjectives: ease, purpose, and fulfillment, passion, purpose, profitability aligned with all of those as well. And I have a really important repeat offender. One of my good friends, Mitchell Osmond, is in the house with the Dad Nation Company, his podcast. What's going on, Mitchell?
Not a lot, brother. I'm excited to be here to have this conversation with you guys today.
I want to talk about the connection code from small talk to soul talk because that's right aligned with
Yeah,
Bucky and I and our mission.
yeah.
But I got to give you kudos, man. I do thousands of interviews, and there's a ton of oversellers, back end sellers, liars, manipulators, and cheaters when it comes to top five this, top 10 this. But the way that you the way that you describe your podcast is so aligned with just being a virtue and just being enough. We don't have to be more than enough. It's like globally recognized, 34,000 listeners a month. These are
Yes.
all realistic things that we have, and you don't need to be the top five podcast and you lose credibility. So I just want to give you kudos as founder and CEO of Dad Nation, that as a father, I'm someone that wants to hang out with someone like you that doesn't need to oversell me. But, and I want to congratulate you because, those are significant numbers for your podcast and you're doing such good work. But we're going to start off with this connection code. There, in that realm of small talk, there's
Mm.
now soul talk. And there's a lot of people, like I said, overselling, back and selling, lying, manipulating, and cheating, not only in describing their speaking, coaching, and podcast and things like that, but they do it in casual talk as well. Why is it so important to have this soul talk? The truth vibrates the fastest.
Well, yeah, and that's a great question, David. And I think the real simple, and I'm a practical guy, I like to get right to the stats. And so if you look at, so for example, I deal with, like you said, men a lot and help them in their marriages and the key relationships and things. But we know that today, 7 out of every 10 divorces are initiated by women, by the women of the relationship. In situations where the wife has an education or is a high earner, that number jumps to 90% of all divorces in the US today are initiated by the women in the relationship. Now, what's interesting about this is 80% of the time, the main reason cited for this divorce is not abuse, is not cheating, is not money. It is they always say, I feel emotionally disconnected from my
Mm.
partner, emotionally disconnected. And so it's so key for us to understand that if we want to see success at home in these key relationships, not just with our wife, but certainly with our children as well, we need to learn how to develop our emotional intelligence and how to not just recognize that in ourselves, but how to connect with them on a deeper level. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, I
And
love that. And someone who's gone through now two divorces. The first one initiated by me, the second one initiated by my partner. I could totally recognize that and resonate with that. This idea of emotional availability, for me is one of the biggest lessons I've learned is like, how do I get into feeling um, and reconciling and being present with what's really there for me, and being able to be available in that partnership. One of the things I talk a lot about is this idea of access and also this idea of transformation. I say, we transform in four different ways, right? The first one is crisis. The second one is process. The third one is the presence of a master. And the fourth one is places. As I read your profile and I look through your story, people don't realize like there's a massive benefit that can come from crisis. And it sounds like there's been a lot of it. I would love for you to share just a little bit about your story and some of the insights that came for you as you went through that process.
oh yeah, well, thank you for asking, Bucky. I appreciate that, man. And I think that's important because a lot of people will look at influencers or leaders and just think that they had it all figured out. That was not. Let me be the first to tell you that was not my situation. I learned about every single lesson the hard way.
Yeah.
But just the real Cole's notes. I had always been in leadership positions, and I'd always been successful in raising organizations, building organizations, all those different things. But when I got let go, I was of this senior leadership position I was in. We were 3 years into marriage, and I spiraled, man. I was 60 pounds overweight. I was 100 grand in debt. We were on the verge of divorce. I mean, I was medicating daily with drug,
Mm.
alcohol to just try and make like just a cope. And to be honest with you, man, the real turning point for me was I attended a funeral, and I was asked to sing actually at this funeral of this very
Wow.
wealthy man. He was a philanthropist. And as I was side stage getting ready to sing the last song, I overheard the minister ask the crowd in the room, he said, "Are you living a life worthy of imitation? If you were to
Mm.
die today, would you be proud of the legacy that you left?" And Bucky, David, I tell you, man, for
Yes.
me, I could barely choke out the lyrics to that last song because all I could think was, man, if this were my funeral today, nobody would be saying, I want his marriage or I want to imitate his finances. I want to imitate his level of fitness. I was in a tough spot. And so I decided that day that I would take ownership, that I would no longer be a victim, but I'd be a victor, and I'd rewrite my
Yes.
past to serve my future. And so, yeah, man, over 18 months after that, we paid off the 100 grand of debt, completely restored our marriage, lost the 60 pounds, got clean of substances and distractions, and just set my life on fire, dude. And so that's a bit
Let's
of my
go,
story.
Mitch.
Yeah. And then
So
that's why I
good.
launched the Dad Nation because, we know that you were the most qualified to serve the person you used to be. And so for me, I'm like, you know what, the best way I can turn this trash into treasure is by serving other men the most powerful way I know how and helping them transform their lives as well. So that's what we do with the Dad Nation, man.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the community part, beyond the coaching, has so much value as men. And as Bucky explained, when you're emotionally disconnected, I've been in my marriage for 28 years, and I always tell people, look, don't worry, Bucky, man. Everybody has three marriages. I'm just lucky it's to the same woman. And when my wife threatened to leave me, I had no clue, right? I was in the same trap that you were, Mitchell. I was
Yeah.
self-medicating and trying to, through my successes, find fulfillment, and there was none to be found in financial success. So, uh, in the aspect of the community that we built, how important it is, especially for men, to be connected to a community where we
Yes.
can share and be vulnerable. I know Bucky and I, one of the things that's solid in our soul talk is that we're very vulnerable, and we challenge each other in the way that we think and perceive things, and we come from different but very similar frequencies. So different
Yes.
education, different knowledge, but the same frequency. So how important is that community that you built, Mitchell, in the Dad Nation?
Yeah, I mean it's huge. I would say of paramount importance. And what I did was, and I did this, intuitively, organically, but it was so powerful when I reflected on my journey. But I reached out to 5 people in my life that were succeeding in the areas that I needed to see success in. So I legitimately just said, who in my life has the best marriage? Who in my life has the biggest business? Who in my life
Smart.
is in the best shape?
Yep.
And I humbly reached out to them, practiced that vulnerability, and been like, hey man, would you be willing to sit with me just maybe once a month, just to share with me, teach me, right? And this is key here, you guys, because especially in the masculine world, masculinity is a lesson that, or masculinity is caught. It's not necessarily taught. You can't teach someone how to be a masculine man. You have to catch it. And how do you catch it? You catch it by being around other men, because intuitively we're not wired this way. And it's because of a term called normative male alexithymia, which is a bit of a mouthful, but it's a psychological term, right? And so what that means is alexithymia from the Greek is actually which means lack or without. Lexis means without words, and then
Yes.
thymos means emotions or feelings. So if we
Mm.
put that together, normative male alexithymia, it actually literally means it is normal for males to be without words for emotion. And so if you're listening to this today and you feel you have a difficult time talking about your emotions or connecting on that emotional level with your partner, understand that's normal. And that's a part of the male expression. But how do we fix that? Well, we retool, we get around other men. We catch that from other men. We're taught, and we level up our skills in order to, connect with our families on a deeper level.
Yes. Mitchell dropping some
Oh,
bars. Let's go.
we love that. And I encourage all men to reach out, listen to this podcast. There's a lot of wisdom and soul talk to help us all illuminate and elevate and accelerate what we are doing. We got to get all three of us together. If you haven't joined
Yes.
Bucky in Nashville, is something, Mitchell, I think the Dad Nation would love to do. We should
Mm,
do a Dad Nation firewalk and visit, and no better bonding experience. And that'd be a great collaboration. Thank you so much, everybody. Check out the unbelievable Dad Nation company, and it's Mitchell Osmond joining us again out of Alberta, Canada. Thanks for joining us, brother. We'll see you soon.
thank you.
See you, buddy. Oh, so good, man.
Awesome. Yeah, I knew you
Love
would
it.
love him. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Lesley's in the house. She is Lesley Goth is here, owner at Denver Family Cons- Counseling Services. There she is. Hi, Lesley.
Hi, how are you?
Hey.
I heard you were just in Denver.
Can you? Yeah, I was. I had a wonderful. We went all over, but I had a wonderful wedding there, and
Oh,
spent
that's
time in
awesome.
Evergreen and the Red Rock, and went to the
Oh, awesome.
amphitheater.
You hit
But
all the good
enough
spots
about me. I
then.
And the weather was perfect, as you know.
Yes.
But you came out with a book this year on my daughter's
Yes.
birthday, so I
Oh,
know it's special. Called
yes.
"Unbroken: A Survivor's Journey After Something Both you and I have experienced."
Mm.
I was unfortunately at 9 years old sexually assaulted, and
Oh, so sorry.
continually for a little while. And yeah, I'm uh, still working through that. Of
Hmm.
course, started working through it later in my life. It's still difficult,
It's never too late.
but I have really never too late. Yeah, it is an interesting thing. So you've created, though, a really compassionate guide
Mm.
to give practical tools. And I think nobody's really taken that I've seen the approach of pragmatism within such an emotional
Mm.
experience. And
Oh, I appreciate you
so,
saying that.
what are some of the, and I appreciate what you do, but self blame is a big issue. What are one of the tools? Because I think it's utilized whether you're sexually assaulted or not.
Hmm.
This tool can be used. So many of us blame ourselves and feel punished, and then perpetuate the punishment instead of promotion, protection, love, and perfection that occurs from these struggles.
Absolutely. You know,
Mm.
whatever the trauma is, it could be sexual assault, it could be, combat trauma, whatever it is, right? There's just this kind of intuitive thing that we do as humans, which is when trauma doesn't make sense, our brain has to make sense of it. So we will blame ourselves because that's the only thing that can possibly make sense.
Mm.
So we have to get through that because that keeps us so stuck in our trauma and in the shame, which is just so heavy and so dark. So I always tell everyone, and it sounds so simple, but it's really difficult and it's essential, which is self compassion and understanding that, you were a victim. You don't have to continue to be a victim. But if anyone came to you, a family member, a best friend, and they came to you and they told you your story, you would not blame them. You would not say, yeah, you're really a piece of crap. And I can't believe you did that. Or I can't believe you put yourself in that situation, or that you let that happen, or no, you would say it's not your fault, and you would have just enormous love and compassion for your loved one. And if we have to learn how to give that to ourselves, otherwise we are stuck in the mud. We are just stuck. So, there's
Mm.
lots of different ways and tools and self-forgiveness and all the things that have to be unpacked and addressed and processed so that the brain can finally make sense of the trauma and then release any of that shame and self-blame.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's really great, and just celebrating you for the work that you've done. One of the things that I talk about a lot is these moments of awakening, or these moments of consciousness, of like where you can have the opportunity to actually observe yourself within your own life and make a
Mm,
conscious choice to be something different, do something different, move in a direction in which you're called. And a lot of times, that direction is invisible. It's sensed, but it's invisible. I'm curious for you, when was that moment where, or when, I'm sure there's many of them, but when was the moment where you really felt like, okay, I have a conscious grip on myself, and even though I'm feeling all the challenges and all the things that come up for me around this, and I'm witnessing all the patterns, I'm still going to make a conscious choice. So when was that moment, and what was that choice that made kind of that shifter for you?
Like you said, there's been many, many moments of massive pivot in my life and
Yeah.
self-reflection. In the writing of this book, there was such a moment of vulnerability that I had to connect to in order to get this out, in order to really help people and let them know that I understood. And I had to like reveal my own stories and multiple, experiences of different types of sexual assault through my life. So my first draft was a very humbling experience, because when I sent it into the publisher, I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. They're going to tell me I have very few edits to make and all the things.
Yeah.
And literally the editor came back and said I couldn't get past the first chapter. Like it was so bad. So that was a moment I had to really dig in and get vulnerable and say, okay, I have to step into this dark stuff, this pain, and be willing to connect and do a deeper level of my own work. How do I expect other people to do that work if I can't do that work? Psychologists need therapy too, right? I mean, come on, no one is exempt. So even though I've done therapy on and off throughout my life, it was time to really dig in and do my own work so that I could really connect and touch other people and know that and they would know that I get it. I really get it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Congrats.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I think you illustrate that you do get it. One of the things that is difficult to understand as well when these traumas occur is that we are actually sometimes trying to protect others from the trauma that would create more trauma. And so as a 9-year-old, that was my most difficult thing.
Absolutely.
Not telling. So as I get emotional because it would hurt my mom.
Exactly.
And then you have resentment and guilt because you don't want to, you feel unprotected, but you're protecting the person that you thought was supposed to protect you. So as I'm getting emotional, and it's 50 years later, by the way, to show you the amount of interference it causes in your own success and being, how much is it or important to not worry about other people's reaction to your trauma?
I mean, it's easier said than done, right? But as a child, you need your parents to be the ones that are protecting you. And so if you're going to reveal something that could shatter them in some way, and then they truly can't be your protector, you're in this no-win situation as a kid. And so many kids have to step into this parental role or very, making these very adult decisions, but it's very subconscious as well. I don't think children sit there and say, well, I could do this or I could do this. It's very subconscious and kind of this, it's a defense mechanism, right? And it's just the child, as you know, you're in survival mode. So what's going to keep me alive? What's going to keep me going? So we make these decisions out of our trauma brain to protect ourselves. And just the bottom line is we got to just keep living. And the brain knows to do that. So, even as kids, we're very intuitive. And so we pick the lesser of our trauma, of what's going to create even more trauma. So as an adult, to then go back to that and, heal that 9-year-old part of you that had to make very, very difficult no-win situations, and understand that kid's dilemma and the trauma of having to make that decision on top of the trauma of what you went through, and how to find safety and how to find protection. And it's like, it's very, very challenging and painful work.
Yeah. And even later in life, I will tell you the hardest was shattering the laws of attraction, because I was stuck as an older person asking, what did I do to attract this to myself?
Right.
Until my therapist held up a picture of me and said, what 9-year-old would attract that to themselves?
And there's that compassion.
And so you have to,
there's the self-compassion.
Yes.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Powerful stuff.
So it's so important. Your book is so important, and
Thank you so
everybody,
much.
whether it's sexual trauma, which is an extraordinary, unfortunately, amount of people. I believe one in every man has some sort of experience, and
I think it's
obviously
like
they
one
hide
in
it
every six
more
men, but I think it's a higher rate,
uh,
David, because I think a lot of men don't come
because they don't
forward.
say, because people don't report it.
No, I mean, for women,
Yeah,
it's
and
hard to
so
report, but for men, it's even harder, right? So, yeah, I think it's
yeah,
higher
it's
rates than even
it's
that.
incredible. But we can stay unbroken. And there are people who have done the work and have done the extra work with the expertise. And that's why I think anyone that feels as if they need some healing for some trauma, that Unbroken is a great book available
Thank you.
everywhere.
So good.
Work through isolation, self blame, shame, and justification that occurs through trauma. Please promise us, Lesley, that you'll join us, come back. We have other shows.
Anytime. I would
Leslie
love it.
Goth. Sorry I
Thank you
missed you in
so
Denver. We
much.
had a quick meet up there, but we will be
I
back.
appreciate it. Okay. Thank you guys. Take care.
See ya.
Bye.
Great work. Great
So
work.
good, man. All these
All
guests
right, man.
today doing great, man. Real good
Soul
depth.
Talk.
Soul talk. Let's get it.
Yeah,
Love it.
exactly. We're so blessed to have such a great production team, and so many people requesting to come on these shows. We get to pick and choose and coordinate them, and my team does such a good job. Our team, by the way, you're part of my family. Speaking of part of my family, this guy's not part of my family. He's part of my community, but he
Yeah.
has the same last name as
Yeah.
me. His name is Eric Meltzer, and he has started talking about the soul talk in the soul community. He started a community of soulful thinking called the Salon Circle. Welcome, Eric Meltzer.
Thank you.
Hey.
Great to see you, Mr. Meltzer. Good to see you, Bucky.
Good to see you too, brother.
Great to see you. Well, give me an idea of what
Yeah.
inspired you to be part of the salon.
Yeah, that's a great question. So a couple things. So really it's the Salon Circle. It's a private dinner series that I'm building here in Washington DC where I live. And the idea is it's for leaders who want something deeper than your typical networking event. And so over the years, I've done a lot of really exciting lunch events at the National Press Club, where I've been a member for 15 years, where I've had four-star generals, people like the Director General of the World Trade Organization. I've been in masterminds where it's just a lot of really quick passing of business cards, surface level interaction.
Mm.
And I really wanted to create a community that has a lot more meaning and depth, and really a curated setting where you're going to meet people that you actually want to see each and every month, and just have amazing experiences, amazing discussions, and just really enrich your life. So it's really the culmination of years of curating events like this that I've created the Salon Circle.
I love it. I love it. I think it's one of the things that people are looking for is greater meaning, right? And I think one of the things in business around innovation is how do I do what it is that I've been doing in a way that's different, in a way that provides more value than what else is going on. When it comes about deeper meaning and what it is that you're searching for and what it is that you're looking to curate, what are some of those things specifically? Is it about spirituality? Is it about greater relationships? Is it about emotional awareness? What is it about?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I would say there's a couple facets to it. So first off, get going off on the heels of what you were just talking about. I've done men's work for, gosh, 6 years now, and it's had a
Yeah.
really meaningful impact on my life. And really being able to be vulnerable and open, and having a place to do that. Now, the Salon Circle is not exactly it is not designed to be anything like men's work or women's work, but it's really about creating a culture of authenticity, where
Nice.
people can show their true selves, and really just get through the surface level facade that so many events that I've been to, that's pretty much all you find. And so yes, it's very much about that meaningful connection. And also just running on off the heels of David's dinners, we're also going to be having a partnership with the Unstoppable Foundation. And so I know
Beautiful.
that's something that's super important to you, David. And we're really happy to be giving back to that cause. And we're going to look into other causes that we can support to really make the world a better place, and really serve people who are less fortunate than us.
Yeah, I love that. You know, this
And
we're at this fire walk, and at the end of the fire walk, you know, there's this moment where we're singing around the fire, and it just reminded me when you said make the world a better place. You know, it's so powerful to have these intentions, and not only have intentions, but to also have processes that follow up on these intentions. But oftentimes, this sense of leadership, right? We heard it on the last call. This idea of like leaders have to go first, and who I am and the work that I'm in really matters and determines how I show up in the world. I'm curious for you, you know, this epiphany or this awakening around, hey, there's something more that's here. What was that for you, and what inspired you to bring that forward into the group?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, really, I'm a very curious person. I love learning and listening from people, and quite frankly, I just want to have more opportunities to do that. I have been on this hospitality platform where I've had upwards, I don't know, maybe 150 people that I've hosted in my home from around the world, from all sorts of different backgrounds. And here in Washington, when when I meet people, oftentimes the first question is, "So, what do you do?" And depending on what you say, then someone will ask what your name is. And I think right, it's very much about positions of power, and
Yeah,
oh, I'm only interested in talking to you if you are in a position to help me and my goals.
I
And
get
I
that.
really think that there's very much a yearning to just get past that surface level interactions, and oh, is your job title worthy of my attention? And so just want to get past that, and really just make a beautiful community of belonging and understanding, especially in a city like this that is so divided, well, over politics, who's in one
Yeah, yeah.
address, who's at another address. I really think there is so much common humanity that brings people together, and I just
Yes.
I just want to build that, and I want to lead it. And I've done the work. I've done the inner work. I'm also, as a little side note, I've been a very serious meditator for 25 years,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's really for me. This is the way that I can serve people is by, like you said, Bucky, just leading by example, doing that inner work, and through my work, it will also allow other people to open up and just create amazing opportunities, just like we get at Dave's dinners.
Oh yeah.
it's interesting when you talk about doing the work and understanding meditation and its purpose of being at our highest self, and our highest self allowing us to elevate our awareness and elevate others' awareness as well. Uh, it's interesting because the highest self in the human experience, which is attained when we're able and capable of helping someone else. So our highest self, when we feel as if we are at our highest self, is when we're able and capable of helping someone else.
Mm.
And as you know, one of the difficulties is that most people love to help because of this. They love to give. They love to feel able and capable of helping other people. But unfortunately, we are not providing the community or the appreciation to allow ourselves to help and feel our higher selves, or allow others to do so. One of the environments that we create in this experience of the salon, and why I encourage people to join us, which is just an extended arm of our VIP dinners with a
Yes.
bigger community, is allowing yourself to be in a room of people that not only want to be of service and of value, but are willing to ask for that value back, or in front of it as well. How important has it been for you to learn how to ask?
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's learning how to ask is something that I've been learning from you, and it's something that has really been ingrained. And it's still something that when we were just talking over the weekend, it's something that still is difficult for me. But I was actually talking to a mentee that I have yesterday, and I said, look, if you don't ask for help, you are denying the other person the wonderful feeling of being able to help you. And so why take away that other person's opportunity to feel great? And so I think that for myself, it's always been oh gosh, no, I have to do it on my own. And gosh, if I'm asking for help, it can be a sign of weakness. But I think it's really quite the opposite. And that is something that you have taught me, Dave, that I'm really trying to institute into my life each and every day.
So good.
So good. Well, we are blessed to have you in our family. I'm honored to have you carry my own last name, although there's varying degrees of relativity, blood relativity not being one of them. Name relativity certainly establishes our mission of making a lot of money, helping a lot of people, and having a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Eric. We will see you soon.
Yes, can't wait. Thank you so much, David.
Looking
Thanks,
forward to our
Bucky.
trip to
Yes.
Betsy.
You.
Good people, man.
Real
Well,
good.
Bucky, it's beautiful behind you, but it's beautiful inside of you. Takeaway of the day. We had some great guests.
Oh my gosh, takeaway. Man, legacy, right? I think about who we are in the world, who we've been in the world, and what's beyond just our physical experience, our human experience. There's a story there, right? There's the lineage and inheritance, and it's beautiful with all these guests to see them not only working through the human experience, but carrying that forward in a way that's more soulfully aligned. I think about Eric with the Eric Meltzer, and I think about everybody that was on here, this understanding that my work is my work, and the thing that I'm passionate about, the things that I've been through, the challenges that I've had ultimately became gifts and ways for me to lead. And even within that leadership, even though there's been years and years and decades of that work, understanding that at every level, you still have to be congruent. You still have to go first. You still have to have the willingness to be open to a new level of learning. And what that means is a legacy that ripples beyond your life experience. So that's my takeaway for today, just the power and the understanding of how legacy really works, both in the past, present, and future.
I love it. And aligned with that legacy is doing the work. No matter what level it is, you got to keep on progressing and practicing. And what stood out to me was with Lesley when she turned her book in as an expert, a psychiatrist, as a counselor,
So
as a
good.
therapist herself. And, she was expecting, my own individual expertise to be acknowledged and to realize that, wow, I still have a lot of work to do in order to help others. We can't give what we don't have. And the day we think we know what we don't know is the day that my favorite quote comes out, which is you're either humble or you're about to
Up to
be.
be.
And when you're living a human experience within the infinite, there's always more to learn. And that's the
Yes.
whole idea. That's the whole idea of it. Bucky O'Neill, I love you. I'm proud of you, and I always have your back. Keep up the great work. On our mission together, Bucky and I are here every Monday. Check us out. Office Hours, the human experience.
Let's go. Love you, bro.
Go have a wonderful day. Love you too.
Will
See you
do.
soon.
Peace, brother.
How beautiful. Peace. That compound that he has is ridiculous. So he's teaching and certifying people and empower others with all types of acknowledgement of limitation, firewalking being one of them. I've done it myself on multiple occasions. It's life changing and expanding. Anyways, we are rocking and rolling. We're going to be in Los Alamitos the next 2 days filming the number one show on Check called Go Fund Yourself. Then we'll be in Boise, Idaho. Then New York City, keynoting Ad Week and VIP dinners, by the way. Then in Guatemala, then in Washington, D.C. with the Aspire Tour. I think Gary Vaynerchuk and Ed Milet are going to be joining me in D.C. So rocking and rolling there. Then back in LA for the SoFi Mastermind. Then in Miami with Lamborghini, and then up to Wisconsin, holding courts, meetups, etc. We're in about 8 cities in 10 days. That's how you get to 200 a year. And we are on quite a run and totally enjoying it. We appreciate you. If you want to join us or be invited, we have an alerting system, 949-298-2905. Text me there. You'll be alerted to all the speeches, interviews, VIP lunches, VIP diamond lunches, VIP dinners, holding courts, meetups, TV show, movies, ask me anything, Instagram lives, office hours, and also podcasts. So you want to be alerted. If you don't like to be invited, please don't text me at 949-298-2905. If you'd like anything, just email me is the best way to get in contact with me, david@dmeltzer.com. david@dmeltzer.com. Remember, most importantly, be more interested than interesting. Be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Hit it, Gigi.
Every day.